Okay, some more with Illustrator. Please take notes accordingly. You're going to be creating some new patterns. For a warm-up, you defined motif and you defined pattern. Motif is the design element that's repeated in a pattern. And a pattern, of course, is the repetition of the motif. With your layers panel open and your artboards panel open, you're just going to rename design 1 to motif 1, design 2 to motif 2, and continue that all the way down. You're going to rename that first pattern, the next artboard, sorry, because that's going to be your pattern that you're going to create manually. So you should already have an artboard. If you don't have an artboard, don't forget, here's your new artboard panel right here. You're going to name it pattern 1, manual. That's because what you're going to do first is make sure that your pattern is grouped. Your motif is grouped, object group. Then you're going to come over to your tools panel. You're going to get the rectangle tool. You're going to make sure you have no fill and a black stroke. You're going to draw a black stroke around your motif, and you're going to change the stroke size in your control panel to 2. Then you're going to make sure you group these. Object group. I'll do mine up here in the canvas. You're going to click, hold, drag to make a copy. Then you're going to resize this particular design to about 1.67. Make sure this is selected and press return. Let's make sure it stays square. Okay? I guess mine wasn't perfectly square in the first place, but around the same number you should be okay. Next, you're just going to make a copy. Click, hold, drag. Hold down your shift as you drag just to make sure that it's there and it's straight. I'm going to zoom in here. Now don't forget your stuff is taking place on the artboard. Since I already have mine, I want you to see the example first, and you can get kind of close to make sure that they're touching, so there's no space in between them. All right. Then you're going to copy again. Have the motif selected. Click, hold, drag. Hold down your shift key. And I guess you can guess what's your next step. Just select all of these. If you want to make everything safe, you'll go to group and you'll pull down, hold down your shift key. Make sure you hold on your option key first, then your shift key, so that you can make your clone. I'm gonna move this up just a tad bit so I can get my last repetition. Just gonna move that up, and then option, click, hold, drag, hold down your shift key as you drag, and you're done. That's the first motif right here into the pattern. You have manual. That's because you clicked and you dragged everything, you repeated everything to get the pattern. Illustrator actually has a pattern tool. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to delete all of this. Gonna ungroup this so I can have a copy. You don't have to ungroup yours, you can just make a copy from your original motif. Okay, so now you're going to have another artboard named pattern 1 unique. This is the one that you're going to create using the pattern options. Notice I'm still on design 1, so you're not changing layers. All 3 designs should be on design 1 layer. Okay, so the new thing you want to do is open up your swatches. If you notice, I already have some swatches here, but I want to go through everything. So the first thing you'll do is make sure you have your motif selected. Then you're going to come up here in your control panel and change it to 0.5 and press return. It's going to get very small. With it still selected, you click, hold, and drag it to your swatches panel and you let go. You can actually delete it after that because it's saved as a swatch in your swatches panel. The next thing you're going to do on your artboard, since my artboard is 5 by 5, I'm just going to give myself a 5 by 5 square. You'll be working on your artboard. I'm just not going to delete all of my stuff. Alright, so we're pretending that this is the artboard. So you've drawn your rectangle around your artboard. Everybody with me? You have your artboard, you're going to draw a rectangle, and it doesn't need a fill. I'll say it again. Make a new artboard. Notice here, it's named pattern 1 unique. Then you're going to draw a rectangle that fits over the artboard. I'm going to move mine up here so that you can see what I'm going to do. You have your swatches panel here. So the next thing you're going to do is just click on your swatch. And that's it. If you notice, I'm going to zoom into my pattern here. If you notice, mine is a little off-center. See, it's offset. Right now, this one is symmetrical. This one's offset. So how do you change that? I want you guys to experiment with it. And if you notice, I also have the fill selected. If you have the stroke selected, it's going to put the pattern into the stroke. So make sure you have the fill box selected. Okay, so you're going to go to Window, and you're going to go to Pattern Options. With the Patterns options open, if you notice, you'll see this little grid right here. And then you can actually edit the pattern. And when you click Edit, you'll see how it grays out. It's going into the isolation mode. Don't panic, your work is still the same. But if you look here, you'll see where it has grid, that's the normal one. The brick row, that's the one that's kind of offset. Then you have the columns. You'll see how it changes. You'll have the hex. You'll see how it changes. And then you have the hex row. And you can decide which one you want to use. I like the way that one looked. So once I change that, we're not going to go over all of this right here just yet. So leave it just like this. The only thing I want you to change is the tile type. Tile type. And then you just press Escape. And then you'll have your design. So once again, you'll need your tools. You'll need your artboards, your swatches, and your layers panel open. You're creating 2 new artboards, pattern 1 and pattern 2. Now, since you're opening an existing document, you can just delete what's on that second artboard and just rename it. So you're renaming Design 1 to Motif 1, Motif 2, Motif 3, Motif 4. And just click on the artboards to make sure that you have everything in the right place. If you click, everything will move. And that's it. Good luck. But once you're done, I'll close up all of this. And I know I went kind of fast, so please rewind me. But you have your original motif here. You're making a copy of it. You're making it small. And then you're repeating manually. This one is the one that you're using the patterns tool. And you're going to continue that for all 4 designs. For design 1, line design 1, and line design 2. And that's it.